Jeremy Clarkson reveals the real poverty problem at Diddley Squat Farm. Jeremy Clarkson has admitted has been missing a huge part of the farming picture on his hit Amazon Prime series, Clarkson's Farm. Despite being a regular voice for British farmers, it turns out Clarkson's Farm may be a bit more, well, diddly squat than we thought. In an unexpected moment of self-awareness, the former Top Gear presenter confessed that his show has failed to highlight one glaring issue plaguing the agricultural world: poverty. Yes, poverty, something that was apparently lost in translation between the tractor rides and his uncomfortably close encounters with sheep. "I have to admit," Clarkson said, "one of the problems we have on the show is we're not showing the poverty either. Because obviously, on Diddley Squat, there isn't any poverty." Which, to be fair, is probably true. It's hard to look destitute when you're surrounded by expensive machinery, have a camera crew following your every move, and you're living out your farmer dream on a plot of land that probably costs more than my entire neighborhood. This revelation came just days after Clarkson joined thousands of farmers protesting inheritance tax changes in London. The protest, which had more tractors than a farmer's market, was sparked by plans that would impose a 20% inheritance tax on agricultural businesses worth over £1 million, something Clarkson, as a proud owner of Diddley Squat, clearly has some feelings about. Standing shoulder to shoulder with fellow farmers, and, presumably, very expensive tractors, Clarkson addressed the issue head-on, admitting that his show doesn't quite capture the gritty reality of farming life. "We're not showing the poverty," Clarkson said, after taking a break from waving his arms around and shaking his fist at the government, "because obviously on Diddley Squat, there isn't any poverty." Well, no surprise there. The most poverty Clarkson's farm has seen is when the Wi-Fi drops during a particularly heated discussion about crop yields. The protest, which focused on Labour's proposed inheritance tax changes, saw Clarkson engaging in a bit of political banter with BBC's Victoria Derbyshire. She pointed out that the tax changes were designed to stop wealthy people from using farming businesses as a way to avoid tax. Clarkson, in his usual style, disagreed, saying, "No, that is the only reason she did it." Derbyshire tried to push back, explaining that another reason for the tax changes was to fund public services. Clarkson, clearly unimpressed, turned to the crowd and said, "Are you listening to this? Like the rest of us weren't already cringing at the verbal ping-pong." The conversation then took an interesting turn when Derbyshire asked, "Have you tried to get a GP appointment lately?" To which Clarkson, ever the master of tact, responded, "Yes, I just had a heart attack." Ouch. Literally and figuratively. When Derbyshire countered, "So you know it's tough. Where do you think they should get the money from?" Clarkson's reply was, "From the rich people who don't have a heart attack to worry about." And so, just like that, Clarkson's trip to protest turned into an impromptu debate about tax policy, farming struggles, and his superb ability to turn a conversation about tractors into a masterclass in sarcasm. But back to Diddley Squat. While Clarkson may have confessed his farm isn't exactly a beacon of rural poverty, it's clear his voice still carries weight when it comes to talking about the issues farmers face. It might not be poverty that's making headlines at Diddley Squat, but there's definitely no shortage of personality on display. Clarkson's Farm might not show the poverty of British farming, but it sure has enough drama, tractors, and hilarious mishaps to make us all wish we could get in on the action.